What's up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. Tonight's episode, so much fun. One of my best buddies, Marco D'Angelo, on the show. Man, this was a wild one. We go everywhere from vacuums, and there was a story behind the vacuum, so you're going to have to tune in to understand, to talking about both of our experiences with anxiety and how we both are coping with mental health stuff and how to reach out to our friends and family who are also dealing with crazy stuff. It is serious. And man, it was a lot of fun. It got emotional at the end. One of my favorite podcasts of all time, I would say. Tune in. It's a lot of fun. I thought we started the podcast talking about Kluskis. No?
I'm pretty sure you're saying that wrong. I'm like 80% sure you're saying that wrong.
Okay, Carl, we're both going to try it, and you're going to tell us who's more correct.
Mm-hmm. You go first.
Kluski.
Nice. Great pronunciation.
Thank you.
Marco?
Kolushki.
That was really Russian.
Very Russian. Very Russian.
Come over here and have some Kolushkis with me.
I think you have to give that to Denny. I think you nailed it right there.
Thank you. I think it's the Polish blood.
Polish food's good.
What's that?
Polish food's really good.
Excellent.
I love Polish food.
Like the homemade, real Polish stuff is so good.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Mom used to make pierogies only once a year.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a lot of work, right?
It is a lot of work.
Yeah. So maybe that's why.
Because you have to fold each one with your hands.
Her and her mom and her 3 sisters used to get together in like late November and make a shit ton of pierogies.
For Christmas?
For Christmas.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So we had our whole family. My mom's side of the family is extremely small compared to my dad's side. And my mom's side of the family, we used to do Christmas Eve every year. And there was, I think at the peak, when like my grandparents are still alive and all the grandkids, and a bunch of them were much older than me, so had spouses and stuff, was 45 people. And
That's a party.
That was fucking a lot of people.
That was the really small part of my family.
Have you ever had like a sweet pierogi?
What do you mean sweet?
Like with strawberry or blueberry?
No, absolutely not. Is that a thing?
Yeah, there's a thing.
It's a big thing. It's a big thing.
Cheese in pierogies too?
Cheese, of course, cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a sweet pierogi, you'd have like a sour cream.
It's like a crepe then.
Almost.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's a pierogi.
It's a pierogi, but I mean, you get that like the fruity crepe kind of thing.
But it's a pierogi.
When do you eat them? For breakfast?
Yeah.
Really?
Whenever you feel it, yeah. You can do whatever you want.
It's a pierogi, but like instead of like sour cream, whatever, you'd have like a sour cream with like some sugar mixed into it.
More like a dessert pierogi.
It's tart. It's kind of tart.
Just the regular pierogi is what I love. The potato and cheese, right? Is that the really common one?
It's pretty common. There's different types of meat too. Pork pierogies.
I really like the plain like potato and cheese, and then you like fry some onions and a sausage.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable. Dude, I would eat that 5 days a week.
How do you cook your pierogies? Boil them?
hot water and then you pan fry them for a bit.
Yeah.
So brown.
That's the way my mom taught me.
I pan fry it, then hot water.
A lot of people I talk to just pan fry them. We'll only put them in a
You pan fry it, then you hit it with a little bit of water, you cover it to steam it, then you lift it up, let the water evaporate, then you...
The way I was taught by my mom was the same as you. Like you boil them till they float.
Yeah, they float.
And then you put
like
them in
gnocchis. Like gnocchis.
Yeah, and then you put them in a frying pan with a little bit of butter and like get them...
It just hardens the outside.
Yeah,
on the outside.
a lot of butter.
Dude,
a lot of
so
butter.
good. Oh, so good.
A lot of butter.
Okay, no, I want to hear about this Qatar thing. So we were talking about World Cup 2022.
So the Euro Cup got canceled for obvious reasons. The Euro Cup was supposed to be this year. Was supposed to be 2020.
June, right? What month?
I don't know.
It's usually summer.
May or June, I thought. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, go ahead.
They're pushing it to next year.
Okay.
And then the Qatar 2022 is in November, but all their shit's kind of fucked, I think. Their stadiums and everything. And plus, like, you're in Qatar in the middle of summer, too.
Let's come back to Qatar. Do you realistically think that large sporting events like the Olympics, which is supposed to be next year, and
Where was it
the
supposed to be
Euro
this year?
Cup, Japan, right?
Japan.
Yeah, they moved it to next summer. Do you think they're realistically going to happen?
I don't know.
It's just going to be zero fans or what?
No, you can't. No, you can't have zero fans. Actually, the NFL's doing it because of TV rights, right?
Lots of sports are doing it. The Masters just happened.
What's the fan like what do they contribute for like money wise in these major events? Percentage
Per game in the NFL?
Yeah, what is it?
20 million?
But compared to like the TV rights and all that other shit, like how important is it to fill a stadium full of fans?
Low.
Yeah. So all these places can probably do it.
It's atmosphere though.
They're all pumping music or pumping like crowd sounds and
which
shit
sucks.
into it. It's okay for me watching it.
I hate it watching it. It's so fake.
Yeah, but like
watching
the camera views and everything's all like zoomed in and shit. Like you can't really tell, can you? You hate it because you can't go to the game.
You can tell it's fake though.
I can't tell it's fake. When I watch EPL, when I watch the Prem, I cannot tell it's fake.
Man, I was watching the Seahawks game this weekend. It was disgustingly fake. It was so bad.
I feel like the guys sometimes forget about it and just like it doesn't even make sense as what's going on in the game. Sometimes I do notice. Also, like basketball, they had your shoes squeaking.
Yeah,
so it was nonstop of that.
Yeah.
And it sounded kind of off.
What I don't like is the cardboard cutouts of like season ticket holders
it's dumb.
in like in like the seats.
But that's another way for the owner to make some money, right?
Because
you want to put your face in there? Sure, $5,000 for the season, right? They're definitely selling that. It's not free.
It's just all shit, man. The NFL's doing a decent job in it, I think.
Yeah, I don't think
There's been no fans in Seattle at all, ever.
No.
For the last
bunch of stadiums. LA, we played in LA this week. They've never had fans either.
Tampa, there's fans in Tampa.
Florida, of course.
Dude, the southeast of the United States give zero fucks
about all this
Texas,
shit. Yeah.
Texas. I was watching a college game like 3 weeks ago, and Texas, they said they were allowing 10% of the stadium, which like big stadiums, probably 80, 90,000. So that's like 10,000 fans. They had to have 40,000. It was half full.
NCAA?
Yeah. And Georgia too is the same.
I saw a picture.
North Carolina.
They had rows of people like back to back down.
Yeah.
But they had space across. So like you'd be sitting right behind me and I'd be sitting right in front of somebody else. But like space like beside me, it'd be 2 meters, which makes absolutely no sense. But I don't think it's that bad. Like I'm just happy. Remember in I don't know, April, May, when there's absolutely nothing to watch.
It was terrifying.
There was absolutely nothing to watch. I was watching like Stanley Cup 1995 first round between Calgary and I don't know, Atlanta Thrashers or some shit. You know what I mean? That's what I was watching. I was like, oh my God. And I don't know what was the first sport to come back. I think it might have been football. European football was the first one to come back.
I think you're right.
I think it's European football.
Golf came back fairly quickly too.
It's kind of easy with golf though, isn't it?
It made no sense to me why golf shut down.
Why it shut down?
It's safer to be playing golf than it is to be at a grocery store, anywhere, like literally anywhere else.
Yeah, golf could have done it. But I think football was the first one to do it. European football. Which is good.
How are they doing it? Did they have a bubble or are they just being careful?
European football?
Yeah.
No, nothing.
No, nothing, eh?
They had the bubble for the NHL had a bubble.
Yeah.
Which worked out
NBA,
great.
yeah.
NBA had a bubble,
Yeah,
which worked out really good.
The playoffs, right?
MLS had nothing, and they were kind of like back and forth and had nothing. But they had like teams that would fucking forfeit the whole thing. Like Dallas didn't play for 3 or 4 weeks.
Did the MLS have a season?
Yeah, but like the Canadian season was fucked. Like Vancouver would play Montreal and Toronto for a month, and that's it.
What?
They can't cross the border.
We'd only play Montreal and Toronto. We'd play 2 games.
They can cross the border.
But then you got to quarantine for 2 weeks.
So our home games, when we did cross the border, was in Portland. So we had no home games at BC Place, the Whitecaps, but they deck out the Portland Stadium with all Whitecap gear and everything.
Really?
This is what they're doing.
And that's what we had. That's where our home games were in
with the
Portland.
Raptors for next year. They have to find a home base for them to play in the States.
And the Whitecaps.
Just playing a college stadium or something?
I guess so. Yeah, who knows? No, they'll never have fans though.
Everything's going to be fine next year.
Really?
Everything's got to be fine next year.
Do you actually believe that?
Yeah, I do. Honestly, I do. Two vaccines came out, which is like, okay, yeah, we're fine. Like, I think, honestly.
They're not out. They're not released.
in the next like 2 weeks.
Aren't they like just starting like clinical trials?
No.
Oh, we're skipping that.
Yeah. Like they're good.
They don't give a shit about
Yeah,
that.
time for that.
There's like, do you want this juice in your arm? Sure, give
for
it
like 40,000 people. They had stage 3 clinical trials that they went through
in 7 days
for Pfizer. No, for the last this happened in March, and like they're good.
So
we're
we've
good.
been watching. There's no fucking way they did it in March, man.
I'll tell you right now.
There's no way.
They started this in March. So
no chance.
This shit came out in March. Okay,
no chance.
This is coming from an ex-bartender, by the way. This is what
so you've heard stories.
I read a lot of news. Okay, listen. Listen. They had phase 1 or stage 1 trials, stage 2 trials, stage 3 trials. And the late stage trials were like 30, 40, 50,000 people. And it came out and I think everything's going to be fine. I think, like fucking, honestly, dude, I think in March, everything's going to be fine.
You're very optimistic.
The states are going to test, like they're going to vaccine their population first. Rightly so.
How is that going to be implemented?
The stocks in the past week have been like fucking this, man.
For what? For Pfizer?
No, because news came out for everything. For any like consumer, like I'm talking like Air Canada, United Air, all the shit started going up.
Bitcoin,
Bitcoin's but I don't know about that, but like, well, because usually Bitcoin's goes good when everything else is shit.
Yeah.
Because like gold and silver kind of follow that trend. But yeah, you haven't heard about the trials that came out?
Yeah, I have.
Moderna came out 95% okay.
95%
effective.
Like what though?
Exactly, effective.
So they're juicing 40,000 people, and then they're putting them in a bubble with the coronavirus, and they're seeing how many people are okay. Like, how are they doing it?
They're doing this so they will have half the people will get a placebo, half the people will get the vaccine, and then the first 90 or 100 people that test positive throughout the trial, they'll look at, and then they'll see if they had the placebo or the vaccine. So let's say you do all this shit for the first 5 or 6 months, and then you have 90 people through combine both the placebo and the vaccine. The first 90 people that test positive, they look at if they've had the placebo or the vaccine.
Placebo is just like a fake
sugar
juice, sugar juice.
Yeah. So throughout this entire thing, whatever happened, and this has come from me, but from my understanding,
and you're a medical scientist.
I follow this. Man, listen to this, okay? If you say you have to piss a lot, and if you say you have to pee a lot, and you have tingling in your hands and fingers, or in your hands and feet, I'm saying you probably have diabetes.
Fair.
I'm such a hypochondriac that I know like symptoms and shit. So like I have a little bit of credibility coming from this. I think.
Yeah, I'll back you.
All I'm saying, man, is that these people, I think there's a happy medium between this entire thing. A lot of people think that either shut down everything forever or protest downtown because they're making me wear a mask. There's like no one in between that thinks, okay, we can do both.
I think there's a lot of people in between.
I don't think there's anyone in between.
Hold on.
Think, okay, we can.
Let me share my thought, and then you can rebuttal. I think there's a lot of people in between, and I think most people are in between. But the polar version people are always the loudest, and they're the only ones
like online and stuff like that.
Online, and they're the only ones that get media attention because the media pumps bullshit. Right?
It's clickbait.
Totally.
Okay. I agree.
20,000 people downtown protesting, and they take a photo that is so narrowed in on like 45 people that are tight together, right?
Okay, yeah. I agree.
So I think the people in the middle are scared to say anything.
Would you take this vaccine if it came out tomorrow?
No, absolutely not.
Carl?
No way. No.
From any vaccine, Pfizer, Moderna, the Oxford one.
Not a chance.
You would not take this vaccine.
No.
Okay, how about knowing that every American would take it first as like a test dummy, and like, I don't know, five months down the road, we approve it in Canada, then would you take it?
I don't know if I'm the right person to ask for that exact question. Carl, maybe you might be a little bit better. I don't know. I'm not opposed to vaccines.
How if you didn't take it, then you couldn't travel, or you can go to like Ticketmaster just came out and said, Ticketmaster just came out and said, if you don't have the vaccine, then like the chance of you going to
that's not true.
concert.
I thought they said you have to get tested within 24 hours of entering the concert.
What I think what's going to happen is there's going to be something called a health passport, saying that if you have this vaccine, whatever one comes out, which is going to be successful, if you have one, then you can go to, I don't know, fucking Jamaica or Italy or all this kind of stuff. And if you don't have one, then you can't travel. I think that's what's going to happen.
I would
Just
chop
take
off
the
my
vaccine.
foot to go to Palm Springs today. So
you take the vaccine to go to Palm Springs?
I'd take 12 of them.
Yeah. I would too. I believe in modern medicine and I believe in science, and I think that no one's trying to fuck us.
I almost believe the opposite.
Everyone's just like, oh,
most
big
people
reset.
are trying to fuck
like,
you.
What reset? Everyone's just like, oh, there's a big 2030 reset's going to happen. And
What is that talking about?
I don't know, like they're going to reset everything and everyone's going to be a fucking socialist. I don't know, man. There's just this big fucking reset. And everyone's just like, okay, yeah, we have a flat earth. Don't take the vaccine. Like it's just, I don't know. I don't believe in all this shit. I think that if a vaccine was FDA approved, I would take it. I'm not going to grow 6 fingers and 3 eyes from taking this vaccine.
Yeah, I think that's part of my problem.
Everyone thinks that like this vaccine is going to fuck you up.
No, I don't think it's going to fuck you up. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think that anything can be approved without like proper due diligence and all this shit. There's 40,000 people in this
definitely
sample
disagree
size.
with that.
There's a lot of people that have been like that have had.
There's a lot of things that get approved because people that are
big
behind
pharma,
them
big pharma
have a lot of money and a lot of political pull.
I don't know, man. I think every politician is pretty honest and loyal with everything. And I don't think anyone's hands are in their pockets. Honestly, I think big oil are not, they don't give a shit. I don't think pharma gives a shit. I don't think, I really trust bankers. Like, I just honestly think that everyone is honest and everyone should take this vaccine and then shit will get back to normal in fucking March 2021. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go on the SkyTrain station. I'm gonna lick every fucking pole I can. That's the first thing I'm gonna do. You know why? Because I can. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go on a bus. I'm gonna fucking cough and sneeze everywhere because I can.
Did you hear Trump's interview after he came out of the hospital from having corona?
Yeah, on the east lawn or the west lawn or whatever.
Dude, it was one of the best things I've ever heard. It was so good.
Yeah,
because he spent the first 2 or 3 minutes of the interview talking about how, in his voice, we have the greatest professionals in the world. We have the greatest nurses, best nurses in the world, best medical professionals. Highly recommend this hospital I was at. They didn't tell me to get this medication. I chose the medication. I suggested the medication, and the medication. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's gonna change lives. It's gonna save lives. America's the best country in the world. And then
we have the best nurses, hospitals. We got the best everything. Like, all right, Donald. You know what? I'm gonna miss that dude, man.
Entertainment value 10 out of 10.
As a Canadian, totally. I'm gonna miss that dude, man.
Totally. But then he goes straight into China's gonna pay for this.
Yeah.
We know this is the Chinese virus. Like,
Wrong. Okay,
that first debate was
let's do a debate right now.
Unbelievable.
Okay? Carl, ask us a question. Let's ask us any question for a debate. You'll be Biden. I'll be Trump.
Why do I have to be Biden?
How do we? What am I going to say here? We know the flu comes from China. How do we get back at China?
Well, I mean, the guy
Wrong.
next to me is a clown. He's just a clown, right? Everybody knows he's a clown.
Wrong. It came from there. They'll pay. You're wrong. It's the best watching that fucking dude.
President Trump, Mr. President, can you please let him speak?
Wrong. What you hear before, you hear this. Can you hear that? I don't know if you can hear that. But it's just like he would ruffle the microphone before he would say anything. So there'd be a question. This is the first presidential debate, like the fucking worst one.
The first one
in the history of president, like of anything. You'd hear something, then you hear wrong.
Just like tapping on the mic.
Yeah. He called him Jim. He called him Jim.
The first 15 minutes.
Jim. Wrong. Dude, I can't believe that, man. I watched that on my laptop with 5 or 6 of my friends all at the same time, and we were just fucking laughing.
I had a few people, like, I don't know if it was on social media or something, but people were like, this is the worst. I turned it off after 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, how could you possibly turn this off?
The vice presidential one was pretty good with Pence and Kamala Harris. That was okay, but like no one learned anything in the first one. It's just like you would talk and then I would talk at the same time. That's what would happen. Someone asked a question.
Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? Is it
That's what would happen. This is a presidential debate.
Is it
here.
a mediator? Mediator.
Yeah.
Was it the mediator's fault?
I think so. He was very passive, and he also needs to be able to mute the mics day one.
Yeah, that's why the second one was way better because they'd be like,
he just kept saying the same thing. Mr. President, your group, your crew, whatever, your team, I don't know.
Yeah.
Your group agreed to this format, Mr. President. And he's like, okay, but he's wrong.
wrong. I would I'm my perspective on this is like I'm not very political. I watch like some American politics and all this stuff. Like my view on this is whatever, but it's just like, man, this is the fucking worst. This is the absolute. I thought Hillary versus Trump in 2016 was the worst, but this has to be the worst. Not between two candidates or whatever, just the worst of everything during the worst time.
Yeah.
During everyone forgot that Kobe died in 2020. Everyone forgot about that, because everyone's so focused on all this other shit. Like 2020 started off fucked, and if this election has taught me anything, it's just like we don't even know who won yet. Biden won, but fuck, who knows? Some shit's gonna happen. He's in Michigan, Pennsylvania. Who fucking Florida? Florida. Who knows, man?
The night of the election, Trump's interview or his press conference or whatever you call it was unbelievable. He just comes on the stage.
How stupid it was, or
he just immediately he just said, his first word was fraud. Right? He's just it's fraudulent.
Yeah.
They're counting false ballots.
Yeah.
We've won Pennsylvania by a long shot. It's not even close.
I'm the winner. Yeah.
He's like,
Mr. Trump, wrong. Mr. President, can we please? No. Can we just yeah.
They declared Biden the winner in Arizona. That's not correct. We won that by a long shot.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
You know what's good about Trump though? I'll say this is that he has these key words and these phrases like crooked Hillary or sleepy Joe or whatever the fuck he uses that just somehow embeds in the American the brain of holy shit, he's right about shit that he says. He has these things that he says that are just that just grab on it and just take traction and they just go for a mile. Sleepy Joe.
You followed this somewhat closely, I would assume.
The 2020 presidential election? Yeah. I'd say yeah.
So it was the biggest voter turnout of all time in the States, right?
I think so, yeah.
I think that's what they said.
Yeah.
Why? When you have two dummies running against each other,
in 2016,
and the whole thing was a gong show, why are the American people showing up more? Don't you think people would just get annoyed and be like, fuck that? Who am I voting for?
Yeah.
I'm voting for two dummies?
My philosophy is that all the Democrats didn't show up in 2016 because they all assumed that Hillary would win and that Trump would lose.
But his numbers were better this year than they were.
Hillary won the popular election in 2016. She got more votes.
That's right. But Trump got more votes this year than he did 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So more people showed up on the Republican side too.
Yeah.
What? That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
If I had two clowns running, well,
I think that's
borderline.
I think that's
This is
Close.
getting very political now, but
yeah, very political.
I'm just voting against Trudeau. I don't know, to me, because I don't like that guy. Anyway, we're digressing. I'm trying to understand from an American perspective
Why everyone showed up to vote?
Yeah, why
I think
most people of all
everything
time
is
showed up.
so politically charged now in the States. Everything. Fucking sports, like everything is so politically charged right now in the States. And yeah. Shit's like everything. Like, dude, everything is so political right now in America.
Is that what is leading people to believe of this reset?
The global reset of
what does that mean?
Fucking 2030. I don't know, man. I was on Facebook and I read it somewhere, and I think it's from a pretty good website, like a really credible website. I read it on. Have you heard this? The Onion, or
Yeah.
have you heard that website?
Very credible. Yeah.
Yeah. So I read some shit on the Onion on Facebook.
It sounds credible.
And then I think that like everything's, I think it's pretty credible. There's a big global reset in 2030. Earth is flat. Number 1. Global reset 2030. Number 2. The greenback and the Canadian dollar are shit, which actually could be a little bit credible, I think. But yeah. Shit's going down, man. Elvis is alive. JFK didn't get shot. He's fucking kicking around somewhere. Marilyn Monroe's around somewhere. Was that a conspiracy?
I don't know.
Was that a conspiracy?
I don't think so. I know Tupac was, but
Tupac
was a huge one. When you hear stuff like that and you hear people talking on the other side calling it conspiracy theory, what is your thought process? Do you question? So I guess where I'm coming from is growing up for me in a very conservative family, I was just told what to do. So like 0 to 16, it was just like, this is the way it is. You have to do that. And now I'm almost the opposite, where like anything I'm told, I question.
You question
regardless of
everything,
whether it's 100% factual or the world is flat. Like,
yeah. I think I have a big issue with like influencers is what I have an issue with. To be an influencer back in, I think we talked about this before, back in like the 80s, 90s, or whatever, you'd have to have a lot of credibility behind the people who you influence.
Yeah.
I don't know, like fucking Mother Teresa or Barack Obama or Gandhi or whoever the fuck it is. They have a lot of...
Or just a network behind your name, right?
Yes. Currently, I think the influencers now of 2017, 18, 19 are just these fucking idiots that look really good, that are just influencing everybody for absolutely no, like they just influence everybody.
Do you think it's better to have 3 old white men on big networks that are telling everybody what to think versus millions and millions of people on social media giving different opinions? So?
Yeah. I don't know, man. Yeah. I don't know. Like, old white men have a really dodgy past currently with almost everything.
That's what the 80s and 90s were, though, right?
Well, I don't know. Barack Obama was an old white man, or Mother Teresa was an old white man, or
6 years
Gandhi
ago?
was an old white
2009?
man.
Yeah.
I just think that a lot of people are so easily influenced now without questioning anything that they've heard. And this is my personal opinion. This is what I think. This is what Marco D'Angelo thinks. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? This is what I think. I think that everyone is just so easily influenced now with stupid shit. And I think that you have to question, like what you said, you have to question a lot of shit now. Like you hear someone like don't you think that like dealing with like you have to like everyone is not stupid, but like everyone's an idiot, and maybe like everyone's like they're wrong about a lot of shit. Like when someone tells me something, the first thing I think about is this person an idiot or not? If I think this person is a fucking idiot, then okay, you can say whatever you want, but I'm thinking like, is this person a fucking idiot?
Same, yeah. Like there's those like famous little like sayings in business, like the advice is only as meaningful as like who it's coming from, right? Like be careful of who you're listening to.
Yeah, and right now, how credible is this person who I'm listening to?
Exactly.
On Instagram, how credible is this person flicking their fucking hair and dancing to a TikTok video. How credible is this person?
But do you think, not saying either system is ideal, but do you think the system, or at least the way the world is working right now, that millions of people are allowed to share their opinion versus 25 years ago when 3 people were allowed to share their opinions?
I'm down with the idea.
And you were just told what to do?
I'm down with the idea of everybody being allowed to share what they feel. I like that idea. But what I'm not down for are these fucking idiots that are sharing these ideas that are getting a lot of traction just because of the internet. Like I'm not down for this idea of like, dude, the earth is not flat. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not 100% sure, but like I'm 95% sure the earth is not flat. But like all this shit's going around with like a little bit like you have everything gets so much traction now. It's crazy. I just don't get it. To answer your question, I am more down with listening to the 3 old white people right now than listen to a fucking 100,000 idiots.
Because I like, and one of the reasons for starting this podcast is to hear different perspectives.
Which is, okay.
Like everything you say.
All those perspectives were shit, though. How if they're all dumb?
But it's up to me to get to decipher what I'm filtering through to understand what I believe. I don't agree with 125% of what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't agree with like all of what Trump says. I don't agree with all of what Trudeau says, like whoever. But at least I get to hear more information and more points of views so that I can make my own decisions, right? Like when I was growing up, this is like where it goes back to for me, is that I was told what to do by my mom and dad. And their points of view were I'd say my mom is more open-minded, but my dad was extremely narrow. This is his thought process. It's shocking. Like I could tell you a lot of stories and we don't have time for that, but I like that people are allowed to express themselves and people have platforms to express themselves so that other people can filter through stuff and educate themselves and make themselves better and understand the world better. I don't think the 1980s and 1990s, the system that was in place where literally 3 or 4 or 5 old white men is who ran the world at that point, get to tell 350 million people in the US what to believe.
I wish I was born in 1940. That is a date that I wish I was born.
I have no interest
in it. It was just
whatsoever.
Fucking easier, man. For me, being an upper middle class white Catholic male, it was easier for me. And maybe this is shit.
Why is that fun? Of course this is shit.
Everything was just fucking easier, man. You bought a house for $30,000.
You made 25 cents an hour.
Inflation. It doesn't matter, man. It doesn't fucking add up to this. It doesn't add up to this, man. Inflation doesn't add up to what I'm living in right now. It does not. You kind of agree with that?
If you
need 2 people making a fucking $100,000 a year to support a family with a house in Vancouver.
That's not true. You need to understand that this is becoming one of the most popular coastal cities in the world. You need to understand that.
Vancouver.
You need to work yourself up the ladder. That's the exciting
in Vancouver.
Yes. So, like, I don't know where this entitlement comes from in Vancouver, where everyone deserves to live in a house in East Vancouver for 1.7. Like, now they cost 1.3, 1.4, 1.7.
And in 1980, what were they? $150,000.
Why are you going back there, though?
Because that was as simple. Is way better back then, man.
The definition of what you just said is called entitlement. You believe that because you were born in Canada, you deserve this piece of land, right?
I don't deserve this piece of land.
It's so silly. You get to work your way up the ladder, right? Like, you start with a 1-bedroom condo in 7. I'm not saying you specifically, but like Vancouver.
Was there such thing as a 1-bedroom condo? Or we're talking right now?
Yeah, I don't know. You gave this example.
Well, in a 1-bedroom, is there a 1-bedroom condo in fucking 1960, 1970?
I don't know. It's a different, like,
it was
congratulations, it's 2020. It is what it is. Like, do the best you can.
Do you not think it was easier 50 years ago? than it is now?
I have no idea what life was like 50 years ago. I hear a lot of stories.
I'll tell you
I've
right
seen
now what
movies,
it's like, man. I'll tell you,
and I've been told by old white men what it used to be like.
I'll tell you right now what it's like, okay? I'll tell you right now what it's like.
Sure. How do you know?
Can't tell you?
Because old white men told you.
Can I tell you,
yeah,
man?
Go for it. Fuck, you watched a fucking Netflix episode.
22 years old, get married, love my wife, have 2 kids. I work at a factory. I don't know. I work at a Ford factory. I make decent money. I pay off my house. I have 2 kids. Life's good. There's minus the Cold War, nothing really is fucking going on. Everything is beautiful. A can of Coke costs fucking 30 cents. I can swap out the engine of my Plymouth in my garage in a day. There's no issues. Everything's good. I like that. I just like that idea.
So you could have that life in 2020, but you can't live in Vancouver.
Where can I live? Merritt?
Yeah. Chilliwack. You can live in Alberta. But like, I don't understand why this, to me, I can't describe it any better than like entitled mindset. Why is it so popular when like we're living in one of the greatest cities in the entire world?
Yeah.
This should be this is a fucking privilege.
Just to be able to live in Vancouver.
I feel
or
like
Canada.
that. I feel like I'm living in one of the top 10 cities in the world. I haven't done research on that. I've seen articles on like best places to live, and Vancouver's always really high up there. But like, why is it I deserve this because I was born here? I deserve to buy a house for $300,000. Like it's unrealistic. I don't know.
I think what's unrealistic is buying a fucking 600 square foot apartment for $1 million in Vancouver. I think that's shit.
But you're deciding to live in Vancouver.
Because I want to live in Vancouver. I love Vancouver. Or I love fucking Port Moody or Coquitlam or Langley or Surrey.
So does everyone.
Or you
you can buy a 1-bedroom condo in Surrey for like
$400,000.
No, like $299.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
You know what the interest rate was in the fucking shit days that you're talking
19%.
About? Yeah.
Yeah.
So every month, let's say every month you made $140 in the whole month. 35 of that dollars went to your mortgage. 32 of that was interest. So every month, $3 fucking went to your principal. I don't know. It's just like, you can talk about, I don't know. I hear like my dad talks exactly like that, right?
Like me.
Like old fucking times.
Fucking
like,
rights, baby. Yeah.
Back in the day, my business was great.
Yeah.
You know, everyone just used to come in and drink 9 beers and drive home. Well, unfortunately, that's not the world we live in.
I don't like drinking and driving at all.
Agree.
You know what the downfall was in this entire thing? Do you know what it is?
What?
Anyone? With the lights, when you clap on the lights. The clap on?
Yeah, why do you want to turn off the lights?
Because that's when everything turned to shit, I think. With the fucking clap on, man. Everything just got easier after the clap on. Is that what it's called? The clap on?
Yeah.
It got easier?
Everything just got easier, yeah.
Like what is easier?
Like you're sitting down or whatever, shit's off, right? Then it just progresses and progresses and progresses. And now I sit at home and I want food delivered to me. I touch a button, everything's delivered. Like it's just like shit is so easy right now. Everything is so easy right now. What's that vacuum called? The
Roomba.
And you love the Roomba.
I've never had one.
I hate the fucking Roomba, man. Why can't you just get a vacuum and just vacuum your shit up? Why?
Saves time. It's like
the Roomba saves time.
It saves time for like, let's say your example of 2 young professionals making $100,000 a year that are working their asses off to like improve their career, and they're spending 12 hours at the office every day, and they're coming home at 8:30 p.m. They don't want to spend. They don't want to spend.
There's a lot of people doing that.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying this is the example that you gave before. This is the example I'm using now. They don't want to spend an hour and a half cleaning their house. So it's a really cool option for them to spend $200 on a stupid little machine fucking drives around by itself while you're at work. It's kind of cool. No?
I don't know, man. I just love the idea of like doing everything yourself, like just fucking picking up and doing everything yourself.
That's like, and I am not disagreeing with your point of view.
I think me and your dad would get along really good.
I feel like me and you get along.
No, we get along.
I'm not disagreeing with your point of view. All I'm saying is that in the like top tier cities in the entire world, Vancouver is extremely undervalued comparatively. And to have that lifestyle, I don't think you can live in any top tier city in the world, right? Like you can't live in Tokyo. How fucking expensive. It's way more expensive than Vancouver. You can't live in LA. You can't live in New York. You can't live like, if that's the lifestyle you want, it just like, it takes you to other places.
Yeah, okay. You have to sacrifice something to live the way you want to live.
You have to, I think I'm learning about life is there's always something you're giving up to get something else.
Yeah, sacrifice.
Oh, exactly. There's always, right? Like if you want to live in the best city in the world, you have to like sacrifice maybe lifestyle or like time with your friends or whatever to make more money to be able to live there or whatever. If you want to live if you want that like 3-acre property with like a beautiful new home, you have to sacrifice maybe the exact location that you're living to get that, and like the turn off your phone at 5 p.m. because you want to like make dinner and hang out with your family, like whatever it is. There's always like pros and cons to every single situation. You just have to understand that you can't have the entire thing.
But I want it though. Like I just.
But to me, that's the really exciting part about life.
I just want.
Is you get to make decisions, and your life goes the way that your decisions are made, right?
Okay, yeah, fair enough, yeah.
Like, if you want to work extremely hard and make a lot of money, you give up a lot of shit along the way. Maybe you lose some friendships, maybe you lose a relationship, maybe whatever. But if that's your goal, that should be the focus. So the other things, maybe they hurt in the short term, but long term, this is where I want to go with my life.
Okay.
On the other side of this, like, I'm not saying your point of view is different, like, or is more important or less important than mine. It's just, there has to be different points of view.
But like
if everyone could buy a house in Vancouver for $300,000 and live this like mystical lifestyle that like their parents grew up with, or like, I remember
which was amazing, man. Like that shit's awesome, dude. Back in the day, you didn't have to like, I'm not saying work super hard. Back in the day, like you'd have like a decent job and you can afford all this shit. And you can do all this shit with working an okay job. So yeah, you sacrifice 7-8 hours a day that you know what I mean? But like at the end of the day, you have all this shit that you have. And now you can't do that. Now to be happy or to be successful or whatever, you have to work fucking 12 hours a day.
I disagree.
With a fucking spouse that works 12 hours a day.
Disagree. I think happiness, you need to define your happiness and you need to figure out what that is. If that is a large piece of land in a quiet neighborhood that like you don't, it sounds negative the way I'm expressing it, but I'm not trying to mean it negative. Like if you want to work a 9-to-5 job and make like $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 a year, whatever that salary is right now, like Vancouver is not where you're going to live.
But in 1960 or 70, then it was an option for you to live.
But Vancouver is one of the best cities. Like I don't understand the challenge right now.
If you go back to the 40s and let's say you're a factory worker, you're going to struggle in a place like New York. You're not going to have that house. You're not going to. I think it just depends where you are.
During the time.
1940s, let's say.
Yeah, during the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we just have a lot more New Yorks right now in the world.
I mean, I'm just jealous about the boomers.
Why jealous though?
I'm jealous of the boomers.
Why jealous?
How aren't you jealous of the boomers in Vancouver, man?
Absolutely not. They lived through some of the fucking shit, man.
The boomers in Vancouver lived through the shit.
Do I envy my dad? Zero.
From your personal experience, okay, you don't envy your dad.
No. But like that age, I'm just saying my dad because he's whatever 66 years old. I'm saying that age group. No, zero.
Okay, look at my parents for example. Mm-hmm. Dad worked a decent job. Mm-hmm. Mom took a lot of time off work to raise me, my brother, and my sister. Mm-hmm. Right. They sold the house, bought a house, sold the house, bought a house, sold the house, bought a house, and now they live in a penthouse, mortgage free, because of all the shit that they've because of the timing of all the shit that they've had.
They're 65 years old.
That is, bumps on.
But if they're,
I'm sorry. I'm just saying a random age.
Yeah.
But like,
That's fucking dope, man. Don't you see how that's
But
dope?
29-year-olds can do that. They just don't want to put in the time and effort to do that for 35 years, right?
No, the time back then versus the time now is a big difference, dude.
I disagree with that.
The time.
I disagree.
My dad put in 8 hours a week, 8 hours a day for 5 days a week. And he had a house, sold it, house, sold it, house, sold it, penthouse, mortgage free.
Yeah, but
8 hours a day, man.
That's a 35-year stretch, though, Marco. You're talking about owning a house today.
No, I'm saying how I would love to live back then. Like, I would love that idea of working a fucking 8-hour shift,
but
not hating what I do.
But you can right now you can work an 8 to 5, buy a 1-bedroom apartment, sell it, buy more, sell it, buy up, and eventually you'll be at the exact same spot. What's the difference?
No, I like selling a house in 2006 for $200,000 or for $350,000, which is what my parents sold their house for on Halifax Street. $300,000, or like $300,000. And no, 2008. Yeah.
I think you're.
You guys don't think that you have to make a lot more money now to get a house?
No, you do. That's like you
100%,
absolutely do.
right?
Absolutely do. But you have to understand that this is one of the best cities in the world.
And it was a fucking dope city in 1990.
I don't know about that.
Not globally, no.
Expo
Like
86, was that a thing? Expo 86?
That put Vancouver on the map.
Yeah,
didn't it?
Science World.
Yeah.
That gas station in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah. But no one wanted to come to Canada back
Our
then.
dollar was so bad back then.
Yeah.
When was the dollar on par with the States? 2002, 2003?
Yeah, when I was in elementary school, probably.
And
Somewhere
what
ago.
was the property value in Vancouver during that time when the dollar was on par with the States? Or even better than they were in the States?
I don't know.
Do you think Vancouver would be similar to Seattle back then, prices?
I don't
Probably.
know. Danny's like, I know shit about real estate. All I know is that I want a house and I want to work 8 hours a day, making $15 an hour, and to be able to afford a house.
You could
That's what I
100%
fucking
do
want.
that. You can't live in Vancouver.
Yeah, but I want to live in Vancouver and do that like they did in the 80s, man.
Like your mom just bought that house in Nova Scotia for 150 grand. With how much land, right?
Yeah.
It exists,
less
bro.
Less than 150.
Less than 150.
But I don't want to live in Nova Scotia, man. I want to live in Vancouver.
Then you gotta pay more, man.
It's very simple.
It's supply and demand. It's
Wrong.
like, do you want to buy Bitcoin
No.
for $22,000 a coin? Or do you want to
23,
buy a
yeah.
brand new coin for like $150?
Listen, man, my philosophy is very
I would have loved to buy Bitcoin when it was
My
what?
philosophy is
$400? Fucking 12 years ago?
Yeah,
I would
my
have loved to do it
philosophy is
too.
very simple, man.
But I didn't. So it's my fault. It's
I
not-
want to
it's
live in
not everyone
Vancouver, dude. I want to have a single income with a family.
So
I want to.
these are the choices.
I want to have
Marco.
a house, and I want to raise 3 or 4 kids, and I want to swap the engine in my Ford in a fucking day. And this is what I want to do, dude.
So these are the cool things about life is you get to make decisions.
I want to make a decision to
sounds like
build
a
a time
fucking
machine.
sweet life.
and fuck off to the 40s.
But that
man.
sounds like a sweet life. But you have to sacrifice. We just talked about
sacrifice.
Sacrifice. It's a new word.
Sacrifice is a word, yeah.
It's
You have to
Polish.
sacrifice the location for that. Like you talked about, you have to make a sacrifice one way or the other, right?
Yeah.
We just said
Okay,
that.
yeah.
And that's the thing here.
I get
It is
I
what
get
it
that,
is.
man.
But why are we complaining? Why not just understand that this is the
That
way?
I have to work 18 hours a day to get what I want here,
No, you don't. Well, if you want to live in Vancouver, probably.
which is what I want, yeah.
Or you can go somewhere else in the world that is almost as beautiful or
Yeah.
close to equally as beautiful. Like Kelowna is fucking sweet.
I like Kelowna.
I think Penticton's really cool.
I like Penticton.
Banff, sweet.
Bam! Doesn't AI scare the shit out of you? Carl,
A little bit does.
right?
Yeah.
He gets it.
It's not
Smokes
even
weed, has a
close
beard.
to our
He fucking
lifetime.
gets it, dude.
Not close to our lifetime, though.
I think Danny's right. I don't think we'll see it in our lifetime, but the self-awareness.
Seeing what in our lifetime?
Huh?
Seeing what?
Like the self-awareness of machines.
So
That's when it gets
these
scary.
machines are like playing chess against each other. and they'll do like a million matches in like, I don't know, like a fucking month or something like that. And that's how they learn from each other. Two machines playing chess.
Yeah, but humans
and one
get to
will
turn
learn
off
more
the machine.
than the other
Humans
one.
are driving the machine to learn better, to be faster.
I think we're all fucked.
What's your biggest worry?
My biggest worry in my head, or like in the ground.
In your head, I'm gonna go. What's in there?
A lot of shit's in there, man.
What's number one?
Okay, because I want to ask him after something.
Yeah, AI scares me.
In your lifetime? Just the
dude.
idea of it.
Do you know what Moore's law is?
No.
Moore's law is the belief, or is the idea that a computer gets twice as smart every like 2.5 years.
Okay.
Twice as small, twice as smart, twice as whatever. So that grows like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So like I think we're at the phase now that we're gonna get fucked pretty soon.
Like, what's gonna fuck
I think we're gonna get fucked pretty soon, man.
I don't think so.
What's the smartest AI that's even close to that?
Everyone's like, oh yeah, they don't have emotion. Man, once a robot gets emotion, we are fucked. Once a robot can feel love, I think we're fucked. I think they're gonna be stronger than us, smarter than us. I think we're fucked. 2034.
That's what you think?
That's what I think.
Is that your fucking reset?
I think everybody's fucked in 2034, man. Hey, I think everyone's fucked in 2034. You know what scares me is like these like viruses and shit. Nothing to do with COVID, but I think like if it was lab made or whatever, whatever, you know what I mean? It kind of shows how interconnected like the entire world is. Like there's cases in fucking none of it. Who goes to none of it?
Other than this
With COVID. Like everyone in the world's like, this shit happened, the entire world shut down.
How much thought do you put into that?
If you're a terrorist born in, I don't know, 2000, you're 20 years old right now, what do you think the most efficient way would be to fuck this entire world up?
I was born in 2000?
Yeah, terrorist born 2000.
Okay, so
Or
first of all,
not terrorist. Some psycho that, you know, instead of going to a school and with a gun, you want to do more damage. What would you do? Build
I'd probably be super upset that I wasn't born in the 40s and could own a piece of land for $20K.
In Vancouver.
Where's that, man?
What would I do? Like, that's a silly question. That's like asking me what I would do if I was Ronaldo. Like, I'm not a terrorist, nor do I want to hurt people in the world.
Sorry, you're right. I just think that's going to be super easy. After this came out, I think this is going to be super easy for everyone to fuck the world up. Like, how easy did this fuck the world up? This entire thing, like, it fucked the world up pretty bad. No?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of idiots in the world. That's what I think.
Don't you think that COVID fucked the world up?
Yeah, because like idiots instantly run the world. That's why I think. Like I think the way people handled it was shockingly hilariously bad.
Getting back to the political spectrum of this entire thing.
I don't know. It is what it is.
Yeah.
From the beginning, I think I've been
Carl, what are you scared of?
About it.
Oh, God. What am I scared of? I don't know. I guess super viruses are pretty scary.
Super viruses, dude. But not a joke, man.
I don't think you just go into a lab and create one. I think
create it, man.
You like at home lab kits. People are just making this shit.
Yeah.
Do you believe that this is reality?
What? What's going on right now?
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Do you believe that this world that we live in right now is real? Or do you think you're in some sort of simulation?
This is real.
I'm not sure at all.
Okay, Denny, what scares you the most right now? What scares you?
I
house market crash. No, what scares you the most right now? What scares you?
I don't know if I have, like, I can't name one specific fear, but something I constantly think about is that this is not real. And I can articulate it now much better than I could have 10 years ago, but I constantly thought about it for the last 10 years. And like 100% truth. I'll go to bed at night and I'll stay up for 2 hours thinking about, like, man, that was so fucked the way that happened today. How could that possibly be a real way that a human would react to that? It has to be simulated. It has to be someone like putting shit together.
So this isn't real.
Like I don't know.
You think the virus is real? Yeah. Or no?
Do I think the virus is real?
Yeah.
I'm on the fence.
Okay. If it was real.
So I'm on the fence because of this thought that consistently runs through my mind. Is this reality? So the idea behind it, and I heard this put into a real perspective on Joe Rogan's podcast, and we've talked about this before, is like some guy came on that had this, I mean, like a lot of people think like this, I think, but his point was, I don't know if this is reality. The likelihood of it being reality is very low because humans are at a point where technology is so great that once you create one little simulation, let's say Marco has like a video game in front of him and it's so real and he's putting pieces into the video game and he's putting like little Denny and little Alex, his brother, and like Viva Soup Pizza and like all this shit. And then he's like, fuck, the game is like way too boring. I just need to fucking throw a virus in and fuck everyone up for 1 year. But 1 year in the game, in Marco's world, who's pulling all the strings, is like 25 seconds. So once that is created, that technology where you can play your own video game and run a world in front of you, once that's created, there's millions and millions and millions and millions of simulations, but there's only ever one reality. So the idea that this right now, currently, me and you sitting on a fucking sofa talking into microphones, that this is the real reality, the percentage of that is pretty small.
Carl?
Simulation theory, baby.
And I'm not 100% sure that I firmly believe this, but things happen to me every single day where that thought pops into my head. I'm like, man, that can't be real. That can't be real, right? Like someone drives through a red light and stops in the middle of the intersection because they're like braked late, and then they just stay there. Like you're watching this and just being like,
because they're dumb.
Like this has to be a joke. Like you run a red light, okay, just go. Don't stop in the middle, and then people can't go the other way because you're just stopped there.
Yeah. This is, man. We are sitting on a couch, talking to each other with microphones.
But how could you possibly be sure of that?
I'm not 100%. No, I am 100% sure of it.
You're 100% sure?
It's what we're doing right now, man.
But maybe this is your simulation, and I was put in here. You've never thought of that?
No, never in my life.
Wow.
What's this called? This theory called?
Simulation theory.
Yeah, I'm not down with this, man.
You're going to Google the fuck out of this.
I will. When I get home, yeah, I will.
You're going to go down the rabbit hole.
I'm not, no. This like there's no bigger picture here, man. Like, this is just what we're fucking doing, dude. This is what we're doing. We're just doing this.
But it's interesting to look at how, like, insanely big the universe is. Like, incomprehensible.
Yeah, okay, I get that, yeah.
Right? Like, we are in the Milky Way galaxy, and we have what I thought was 9 planets, but apparently we only have 8. Is that right?
8 and a dwarf planet.
Mercury,
8 and dwarf.
Venus,
Apparently,
Mars,
I did not
Earth.
know this. And maybe I'm a dumb human, I don't know. But apparently Pluto is not a planet anymore.
It went moon, planet, moon, I think.
Who's it a moon of? Moon of what?
What's that?
They're calling it a dwarf planet right now. I don't know.
What the fuck does that mean?
No,
It's
Uranus.
a small
Is
planet?
it moon of Uranus?
Neptune?
It goes Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. Dude,
Then Neil deGrasse Tyson was the one who argued that it wasn't a planet.
you know what surprises me every day is like the shit that I learn in school and how it doesn't stick at all. Like, do you know the primary colors?
Man, so I think of, man,
Green?
this is part of the shit that I'm talking about. I look
Orange?
back and I think, how fucked up is the education
orange.
system? Why is it even a thing? Like, for some,
Yeah.
this is the way I think about it. For some professional designations, it makes sense to learn the theory and like all the things you need to know. A doctor needs to know
Lawyer.
the stuff
Yeah.
inside
if I have a brain
inside a
hemorrhage,
human body,
I want
like
someone
whatever.
to go to school for 10 years and
Totally.
5 years of
I get
practice
it.
to fix my shit up. Yeah, okay.
But why is that the process that random people, normal humans are forced into? And I felt like I was forced into that.
Science?
No, into going to school, into going to university.
Yeah.
And I never once felt like I belonged there. Every time I went to class, I was like, man, how the fuck do I get out of here?
I think there's a big difference between school and university. I'm a big believer in the curriculum in BC of K to 12. I think that's important.
Do you think it's time well spent?
Yeah, I do.
For 18 years to learn as little as you do?
Not for 18 years. You don't go to school when you're 1 year old, but yes. I think there's value. I think there's value in that.
13.
I think there's value in that. But I don't think there's value in is these post-secondary education or school, giving someone a degree in traditional haircuts of the Ottoman Empire. They're just fucking
of the what empire?
Ottoman Empire. And they're just pissed off because they have $150,000 worth of student loans.
Yeah.
And they want a job and they can't get it because they have a useless degree.
Dude, you're telling me my vampire studies course at UVic
It's absolutely fucking useless, yeah. And I think it's a ripoff, dude. I think 90% of successful people that I know, and I know at least 40 successful people, and 90% of them, no joke, 90% of them don't have a fucking degree or a master's or shit like that. They don't have that, man. And you know what? And some people do. Nav, great example. He's a doctor. He has this, and that's very valid.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that a lot of these fucking schools are offering a degree in musical theory or shit, what the fuck's that going to do for you, man? What is that going to do for you? They're just taking your money. I was 27 years old at college in a bookstore buying these $300 books. Yeah. It's a true story. I was buying these $300 books and I was looking around and I was older than everyone else. Everyone was 20, 21, 22, 30, And I was like, why the fuck is everyone so happy right now buying these $300 books that I can learn all this shit myself from my experience, from my education. I can learn all this shit myself. In the 70s, 80s, 90s, okay, you need someone with credibility to teach you these things. Now in the era of internet and everything, the amount of time that I've opened the book or that I've looked at a YouTube video, what did I do more? I've looked at the YouTube video and I've taught myself this shit. I haven't read it in a $350 textbook for biology. And everyone was so happy. Why the fuck are you so happy for? You're getting ripped off. Why is everyone so happy buying these expensive textbooks? You're just getting fucking ripped off. I hate universities and colleges. I fucking hate them, man.
So that's the way I look at life.
To an extent, sorry, yeah.
I don't look backwards and say, I wish I was born in the 40s so I could buy a house for 20 grand.
I would love to buy a house for fucking $20,000.
I look right now and think, Jesus, it is so much easier to educate yourself right now for free.
Yeah, you can.
100%
you can, yeah.
This brainwashing system that was built in when did university start? Early 1900s, probably.
Even earlier,
whatever it was.
Universities are okay, man.
It's a fucking business, man. You have to understand. It's like McDonald's. They brainwash people to eat cheeseburgers every day. Universities brainwash people that this is the way to success, right? It's a business.
I blame my parents for this.
I blame my parents too, 100%.
Yeah, there's an education.
They believe in school so much.
But they were brainwashed too, though. It's not their fault. That's what it was. There was no internet.
There's a market.
How else do you educate yourself?
There's a market for that,
You have to go to school. And some old white dude, that's the fucking, that was what the world was back then, man.
Dude, man.
That's what it was.
Do you think the internet is why we're breaking this chain right now?
The internet was 100% breaking the chain.
See, I think it applies to religion and stuff too, right?
Encyclopedias when I was younger, dude. You haven't a fucking encyclopedia?
Yeah, but that's one person who wrote them. They could put whatever they wanted.
That's what I used to look at when I was fucking 10 years old. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I was looking at V, volcanoes and all this shit. That's how I learned stuff, you know what I mean? Through fucking
and how inefficient and slow is that?
Shitty. Yeah. So shitty, man.
So when I say 3 old white men, I'm generalizing because I disagree with how the world was run 30, 40, 50 years ago when you're talking about. I don't like how it was. I think it was very racist and discriminatory.
The issue...
So the reason I say 3 Old White Men is because that's how it seemed like to me, looking back, that's how it was run.
It's the name of a book.
Whatever. Anyway.
3 Old White Men.
I like that this system that is developing right now with the internet and people being able to share their opinions and other people being able to watch millions of people instead of 3 people or 3 networks or whatever.
Yeah.
And pick out what they want to believe or what they think they believe, or they put pieces of information together and believe things. It allows people to excel to different levels than they would have in the past, I think.
I dig that 100%. I dig that.
So I look at the world today as so much opportunity based on technology versus, oh God, AI is coming after me, and the world would have been better 40 years ago. That's what I think.
Okay, that's fair. That's completely fair. I think that there's definitely a market for universities and colleges.
Agree.
Doctors, lawyers, or whatever. They have, like, the programs they have started offering are absolute jokes.
It's a business, though. You have to understand that.
Like they
it's not there to help you.
Doing shit.
It's
that
there
is
to
just
make
like,
money.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Come here. Take this. I just got a job 2 months ago. I just got a new job. If I didn't have that degree or that certification or whatever the fuck I've had, I probably wouldn't have got that job. Even though I did not learn a thing, I did not study, I did not do any of that shit. I just coasted by. But at the end of the day, that piece of paper or that plaque on the wall saying that you've done this, that's pretty important, man.
But
which is shit.
The amount of businesses that value that has gone down extremely significantly in the last decade.
You know what else?
It used to be 100%, and now I would say it's way less than 50.
Networking during these years of college or university are also very important too. You meet a lot of people.
I think it's the most important.
Yeah, the most important thing is
you know what my biggest regret is?
Through this entire thing.
My biggest regret in my entire life is not putting myself out there more in university to meet more people.
Yeah, you meet a lot of dope people in university.
That is the absolute key to university, I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
And the biggest
And my
benefit.
friend Brian Dean, who worked for Sony in Vancouver for 5 years, and he said the exact same thing. He has no degree or anything. He met 2 people during his first year in university, and he was just set up after that. Job. Simple.
Putting yourself out there. My life completely changed from one Facebook message.
Yeah, exactly.
From one Facebook message.
From?
I posted on Facebook when I was 21 years old, and I said,
Do you know what this?
Sort of, yeah.
I want to buy a condo.
Yeah.
Does anyone know a realtor? And
Hamas.
my brother's wife's brother also went to STM, said, call Jamie. Mm-hmm. And so I called Jamie, and that was 10 years ago. Like, that's the cool thing about technology. Yeah. And like, let's say networking is just like putting yourself out there, messaging people, whatever, is the connections, man. And that's what kids going into university should be assuming. Is that this is an opportunity for me for the next 4 years to meet as many cool people.
But that's not the case, though.
No. But that's what I'm saying. Should be taught.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? Like in English 101, the first fucking 3 days of that course should be like, hey, you need to meet everyone in this class, get their phone numbers, see what they like, network. I'm not going to teach you a fucking thing. I'm not going to read you this poetry book, this bullshit poetry book that you're never going to fucking know or think about for the rest of your life.
But instead,
you need to meet everyone, find out what they like.
Yeah, I agree.
Make friends with people. Learn what, like, this thing that the podcast is teaching me is like everyone has a different perspective. Value their perspective for what it is, and like learn from them. Right?
1940.
Like your experience growing up is so much different than mine. And I never had that. So I don't know that. So I want to hear you and learn from you. So it's cool to hear that like you like think this 1940s lifestyle, whatever is
Is way better than lifestyles now. Yes, I do think that.
And I can respect it. I don't think the same thing, but I can like take little things away from it.
Man, it would just be nice to work a 9 to 5 and fucking buy a house. And that's it. It'd be nice, dude. That would be nice. Oh, you want to live in Penticton? I don't want to live in Penticton, man. I want to live in Vancouver. I want to work a 9 to 5. I want to have a house, pay it off in 20 years.
And die from lead poisoning at 60.
Interest rates, 19%. Fuck the big banks, man. Fuck them.
Like, I think our outlooks are going to differ on this one.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe we should
talk about sports.
Just straight to sports, eh?
Is
that something we agree on? I think that's something we're going to clash on even more, to be honest.
You're saying that if you had a time machine right now, you would not change any time that you were born?
No.
You'd be born in 1982.
I think regardless of the year that you're born, there's going to be extreme challenges that you don't see looking back, right? Like if you were born in 1930.
Okay, World War II. I know where you're going. Got it.
But when you're born...
How about 1980? Cold War's basically done. Berlin Wall's still up, but like whatever. But like being born in 1980.
But then you're going to be one of those guys that if you're...
Bell-bottom jeans.
You're 42 years old or whatever, and you're like, nah, I don't need this shit cell phone. The fuck are you talking about,
so
bro?
You don't like technology. So you don't. So you don't think there's a sweet spot?
Just
in a year?
Adjust.
What's a sweet spot for a year?
Let's change. Let's understand that this is going to make our life better.
How was 71? Just being born in 1971. You're a teenager in 85.
So you're 50 right now.
It doesn't matter right now. Yeah, you're 50 right now, and you have.
I'm obviously progressing to today.
3 houses, because you can buy every one for $40,000 down payment.
So that's 50 years ago. Right? That's what you're talking about?
80. Yeah. 1970s, 1980s.
71.
Yeah,
you said 71. 50 years ago?
Yeah. So right now I'm 51 years old.
If you buy 3 condos today, you're talking about 3 houses. If you buy 3 condos today, you're going to make way more fucking money in the next 50 years on those 3 condos than someone did from 71 to 2020.
Disagree.
I guarantee you.
I disagree.
Dude, I'll make you a big bet on that.
I disagree.
Because that guy, let's say that guy bought a house for $30,000.
Roger.
Roughly 30? Sure. Let's go with that. Now it's worth 1.2.
Big markup. So now you buy a house for 1.2.
Correct, right?
So it's going to be worth $20 million.
Hold on.
Sorry.
So he made 1.1, say roughly, 1.1
Let's just say a mil.
So he made $3 million on houses over 50 years, which is a terrible investment.
Okay.
Long term, if you put your money in stocks over 50 years, you probably make a shit ton more money than that. Anyway, if you bought 3 condos,
$3 million
today,
from what? From $3 million from $90,000.
If you bought three condos today in downtown Vancouver for $1 million each,
$3 million.
So you spent $3 million. In 50 years from now, I'd be surprised if those weren't worth $4 million each. So you're gonna make 3 times 3 times 3.
From a $3 million
I think that's
investment.
generous, Danny.
From a $3 million investment.
Way higher than $4 million, right?
Okay,
Way higher.
So from a $3 million investment, and back then, how much am I putting down? $90,000.
You're talking about cash.
Yeah,
you're talking about making more money, right?
From $3 million compared to being from $90,000. Was that $30,000 a piece? What was the original price?
I don't know. I wasn't born in 1971.
I'm saying from 30,000 down compared from 3 million.
You're talking about amount of money.
Yeah, I know what I'm talking about, man. Wrong. Dude, all I'm saying is, man, I want to be born in the fucking 40s. I want to be 15 years old in 1954, 1955. I want to live through the Cold War. I want to buy a house for $30,000. I want to work at a factory. I want to come home. I want to love my wife. I want a single parent income, which is my dream, by the way. That's my dream, is having my wife work and me staying at home. That's my ultimate dream. I'm not even fucking joking. That's my dream. Like that is my ultimate. Like, Gabby, I want you to work, and I want to stay at home and raise the girls or the boys or whatever. That's what I want to do. 100%. That's what I want to do. And then, buy another place, retire when I'm fucking 60 years old, have a house, sell it, downsize, fuck it, and make $1 million. It's a dream, man.
Dude, man, I cannot argue with your dream.
That's my dream.
It sounds fucking sweet.
That's my dream.
The cool thing that I like is that everyone has a different dream. And that's fucking sweet. Carl wants to fucking build shit and produce podcasts. I want to sell shit and you want to raise children.
My dream, my fucking dream, honestly, dude, I'm not even joking. My dream is for my wife to make as much money so I can just raise the kids myself. Because I know for a fact that if I raise these kids, man, they are so easy to manipulate. You have no idea.
That's why people go to university.
It is for kids. Like, dude, I know exactly, like, I could plant the seeds early. 1, 2, 3, 4 years old. Plant the seeds. Plant the seeds.
What are the seeds you're planting though?
Basic FMS, fundamental movement skills. Number 1, dodging, jumping, running, throwing. You know what I mean? So when they're when they're 10, 11 years old, they're playing sports and they're moving around and they can teach and they can do this. You know what I mean? FMS for me is more important than basic education. If I have my sister just had a kid. I'm a new uncle. And once I get a hold, he's in Romania right now. Once I get a hold of this kid, this guy's going to learn everything to do with basic movement. Honestly, man, you think dodgeball was a joke? It wasn't a joke. Dodge,
dude,
dip,
I don't think it's a joke.
Dive, duck.
Dodge.
Dodge times 2. Yeah, man. I just love that idea, man. I just love that, like, I wish that my wife would just work and I want to be at home. I love Listen, I love cooking. I love cleaning. I love all that shit, dude. That's like my dream. To stay at home, cook, clean, raise the kids. Wife comes home, she has a nice meal. Like, that's my dream, dude.
1940s housewife. Man.
Dude, my dream is being 1940s housewife, man. So they had it and they fucked it. Like, they had it. I don't want to go too far, but they fucked it. They had it and they fucked it.
So I'm going to argue with you slightly here.
Okay.
That's the cool thing about what the generation we're living in, right?
That both people have to work 18 hours to support a house?
No.
Okay.
There's no lines anymore, right? Like in 1940, if you had that goal, you would likely never get married because women were just like expected to be that individual. And so you'd be working at a factory and hate your fucking life, right? You would be the guy that comes home at 6 p.m. miserable because you're fucking digging a ditch or
unless I love digging ditches.
But I'm talking about you.
Then yes, then I'd hate that.
You just shared your entire dream with me and I think it's fucking sweet.
Then I'd hate it, yeah.
And so this is the exact generation you should be living in.
Is right now.
Yes.
In Barkerville.
Wherever.
In Barkerville.
It doesn't matter. Because women get so much more respect they do like right now than they did 60, 80 years ago, whatever year you're talking about.
Yeah. Can't argue that.
Right?
Yeah.
And now they're getting more opportunity in businesses and they're getting progressed in businesses and they're making more money businesses. So I think this is the best generation for you to live in, man.
So you're saying I should reverse my 1940 goal and go...
Your 1940 goal would not exist.
A reverse 1940. If I identified as a woman in 1940, then I could stick with that.
If you identified as a woman in 1940 and you were born a male, I think you'd be excommunicated really quickly.
Okay, like say... Okay. We have the 2020 views in 1940.
Well, now you're just fucking mystifying
You want to hear
world.
my goal? I'm telling you my goal right now, okay? Marco, what do you want to be? I want to be in 1940 with 2020 views as a woman, as a man born, turned to a woman, being a housewife. That's what I want to do.
I fucking love it.
That's what I want to do. And if I don't get that, you know what I'm going to do? Protest. I'm going to fucking sit in an intersection on Commercial and Broadway with a sign and protest until I get it.
I feel like 2020 is the exact time that you should have been
To do this.
Fit right in.
age
Yeah.
to fucking achieve that. Isn't that
Yeah.
fucking exciting for you?
Yeah, man. Person. Human. Whatever you want me to call you. Yes, Denny.
You can call me whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I just want to be a house husband.
It's fucking sweet. I need a house husband.
I want to be a house husband,
I need one.
but you can't
Why?
because we live in 2020 and you need to make $200,000 a year to support a family. So I cannot be a house husband unless Gabby, if you're listening,
What?
she needs to make $200,000 a year.
I feel like she's a very intelligent woman.
Gabby, I fucking love Gabby.
Definitely has that
she's
potential.
dope. Carl, wouldn't you want to just live at home and have your significant other make a bunch of money? You can build shit at home and
Absolutely not. No,
you would
way.
hate that?
Dude, I want to build shit to advance and move forward and make money myself.
Fuck.
That's the cool thing about life is everyone has a
Everyone's
different perspective, right? This
But I
is why
feel like
love the
everyone should
podcast.
be like me. I think that everyone should be a 30-year-old Catholic white dude. I'm fucking joking, man. Yeah, that's cool. I think that's cool.
I like the people that have different perspectives.
Yeah,
It's
that's
so
dope.
cool.
Yeah, that's dope.
Carl wants to build shit. If you asked me to fucking nail something to something else, I would
Useless.
call Carl and be like,
Yeah.
Carl, can you come over here? No, Denny, I'm working. Well, what time can you come over? 5:45 p.m. Okay, great. I'm just going to postpone this shit until 5:45.
You know,
That's
man,
what I would do.
I was
Because
thinking
that's not my thing. But he's good at it and he likes it.
I have buddies that I have buddies of they do all different shit, right? I have this one buddy. Me and him have talked a lot in the past about intelligence, what makes somebody smart. And right now, I feel like the Eurocentric perspective of like grammar, history, basic math makes somebody smart. If you give me a car and
Today?
if you yeah.
No,
I think
man,
that's
that was-
I
was
think
a decade ago.
No, I think, dude, I think that's what makes like if you say, "Are you intelligent?" How properly you you write an email or all like I think it's very similar today. Than
In today's world, it doesn't matter.
for me, okay, I understand that.
Like in the world of like, if you're talking about making money in Vancouver,
No,
or like,
nothing to do with money. With how people gauge intelligence. How do you gauge intelligence?
street smarts, 100%.
And everyone's different. I think the majority of people gauge intelligence not by street smarts.
I disagree with that today.
I think everyone gauges intelligence by.
If you had said that 10 years ago when I got out of college, I would think you were 100% accurate.
I
think
still
it's
think
completely
that
changed.
people gauge street smarts, or no, sorry, people gauge intelligence by basic like what's the fucking capital of Quebec and
I think that means absolutely nothing because we have this
I
in our
agree,
fingertips.
dude. I agree.
I can find out in 6
Man,
seconds.
I agree
right?
that means nothing, but I still think that people gauge intelligence based on that. Currently,
I don't think so, man. I think that's gone
yeah.
away. I think it's totally
and
gone away.
like for me, like if you open up a hood of a car, I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. Like this, like it's a different language for me. But I can tell you that there's, I don't know, I can name every bone in your body as an adult, or like I can like that, like that's my focus. But like different, like I don't know I don't know that shit at all. And everyone focuses like their intelligence, I feel, on the more Eurocentric perspective of history, socials, math, English, which I think is all bullshit too.
When I was growing up, especially in sports, the like common theme in trying to get better was work on your weaknesses. Remember that?
Okay.
Remember that? In the last 5 years and like listening to business podcasts and like stuff like that, the most common theme that I way more believe in is double down on strengths. Like, what are you good at? I am not going to be good with a hammer. Like, I am not Carl.
Yeah.
Carl is very good at that stuff. I'm not that person. Why should I spend any of my time trying to improve on like ripping up a floor and relaying a floor?
What's a society?
That is not my thing.
Do you think that society values you more than Carl? Not just like I'm just saying, Carl, a business mind versus manual labor, trade mind.
The cool thing about the world is that there's room for all of that.
I think that everyone values you more than that. 100% of the time, I think everyone values you more than other shit.
What?
Which I think is bullshit.
Are you talking about me specifically?
Not just you. No, not just you. The business aspect versus the trade aspect.
I don't know about that because, like, I know a lot of tradespeople that run businesses that make a fuck ton of money.
So many tradespeople that are the exact same. They're super successful. But I think as a whole, I think as a whole, people value not the trades. They value not manual labor. They value other people more. Is what I think.
I think it's maybe cool to say that you run a business, regardless of what the business is, whether you run a plumbing company or a real estate company or like a financial services company or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's cool right now. Like entrepreneurship is super cool to say that you run a company versus like a manual labor person. But I don't know, man, because like you can classify me whoever you want to classify me as. I feel like my definition is I work harder. That's all. Like I don't know what I am. I don't think I'm an entrepreneur. I don't really like when people call me that because I don't know. Maybe it's like a self-deprivation thing that I put myself down. I don't know. But I don't like that word. I feel like I work harder and I found something that I'm good at and I like working hard at that.
That's fair, yeah.
But for me, I value so much being able to call someone and say, dude, I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. Can you come over here and spend 45 minutes fixing this? Because it would take me 3.5 days. So I don't know. Like you're talking about the world valuing.
I think people value people from a more traditional education upbringing more than labor, which is shit.
But I have zero education.
As a teacher, lawyer, or doctor, anyone with a degree, basically.
But I think
people value them as being smart, and I don't think they're smart. I think other people are more smart.
And I think your view is the more common view in today's world. Like I think most people under the age of 40 think very similar to you in that like there's super intelligent people in every single industry, whether you are a contractor or like teacher or lawyer or whatever. But there's also fucking terrible people in every industry. And I feel like how social media is so open that like you get to decide for yourself now versus in the past when you were just told what to do. So we're coming back to the same thing of like millions of perspectives on social media. You can Google, like, let's say I need an electrical job in my house and I Google best electrician in Burnaby or whatever. There's going to be hundreds of results that come up. And there's going to be Google reviews beside those results. And there's going to be real people that have used that person that are saying, hey, their communication was fantastic. They showed up on time. They did the job exactly as they told me they were going to do. They were great. Versus like, took me 4.5 days to for this guy to reply. He showed up and the work was done shitty. And then he like, whatever.
Yeah.
So you get to decide, which is so cool now.
What I think is that if you have two people and you have just a fucking plumber and a university graduate with a master's and whatever, society would view that person as more useful than the plumber. Even though that he is a red seal plumber making fucking $60 an hour.
I think
and this person is just a fucking... She has a degree and whatever.
So like,
I think basic intelligence, or like if you say who is more intelligent, 8 or 10 or 9 or 10 people would be like, this person that you went to university is more intelligent.
So I can't speak for society as a whole because you're generalizing society. I look at my perspective and my experience, and like as a business owner now who is hiring people.
Yeah.
When someone sends a resume to me and the top portion of their resume is education, I throw it away.
Fuck. Suck it for me.
When someone sends me a resume and they talk about work experience and what they've learned from the work experience, I'm very interested in that person. So, like, I don't know what the exact percentage is of society that is valuing a master's degree over work experience, like a plumber or like
a red seal.
Let's say they run their own business for the last 3 years. That guy or that girl is so much more appealing to me than someone who went to school for the last 9 years. Like, outrageously.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
Man, for me, like, all my buddies have all come from trades, and every single one of them are so fucking successful. Every one of them, dude.
But isn't that telling you something?
Carpentry.
Society
Exactly.
is showing you that the guys that are successful are doing something correctly, right?
No, I think that for intelligence, people think that if you come from a college or university,
but
that
who cares what you
mostly-
think? Success is success.
And I
If
agree,
those guys
dude.
are successful.
I agree. Those people are super. Yeah, I agree. 100%. I agree, man. I agree with that.
So what does it matter what society portrays you as if you're fucking building your own business and you're
it doesn't
successful?
matter. For me, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
For those guys, it doesn't matter. But people think that these other people are more valuable than these.
But who gives a fuck what people think?
Dude, I agree. 100%. I don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck. Carl doesn't give a fuck. But like.
So what's the point? Like, I don't know what the point is.
My point is that intelligence should be not so much valued on your education.
It's not anymore.
I think it is.
Dude, it's not.
I think it is.
No way.
I think it
disagree.
is. No, I think it is.
Carl?
I think it depends who you ask. I think if you ask our parents, they're gonna be with
That's
you.
why I say three old white men fucking suck, man.
1940, fucking old school, man.
Dude, I say this to Carl all the time. The worst people in the world are old white men.
Maybe I'm old school.
You are old
And
school.
at one point, I will be
You're
old
very conservative.
and white. Shit.
Open-mindedness is a shockingly undervalued
I don't think
quality.
people are as open-minded as you think they are, man. I don't think they are.
What I'm saying is it's
Not man.
it's an undervalued quality.
Is being open-minded.
Being open-minded
I
to
agree.
anything.
I agree.
Gender, like race, sexual preference, like anything.
Ageism.
Zero. Who doesn't matter. If you're better, if you work harder, if you're better at this thing, or like, you should win. And I think that's the way the world's going with internet and social media.
Moving or going? Like currently?
I think it is unbelievably better than it was 10 years ago.
In 2010. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I still think that people that are shitty and not shitty, sorry. I still think
So
that people.
hold on. You're saying society values the master's degree more than the tradesperson?
Yes, I do.
Who is society? Who are you basing this idea off of?
I don't know, man. Fucking call 100 people. I don't know. Like, I feel that majority of people.
But who are you calling?
I
That's
feel
what I'm
that
asking.
majority of people value that more than that. I do.
But who cares about the majority?
Dude, I agree, man. I don't give a fuck. But I think that more people would value this more than this. That's what I think.
And my point is that percentage, whatever it is today, I haven't surveyed 100 people. I can't give you these vaccine 40,000 people numbers.
Let me clear this up.
I think that percentage has gotten significantly lower in the last 10 years than it was 10 years ago.
I think it has gone lower. I think if you go down the street, if you go down the street and you pull over some random person and you say to them, hey, who do you think is more intelligent? This person or this person?
But why is that random person's opinion important?
I think they will say this person is more intelligent.
But okay, so I don't know what the whole point of this is, but like
who society values more.
But who gives like society value means nothing. Like, are you trying to find a job? Let's say like those two people are going for a job at the same point of view. So you're asking the person who is hiring for that job, so a manager, a business owner, whatever.
I don't know.
And I think those managers and business owners value the education significantly lower than.
How about personal feeling? Don't you want to know that you?
I give zero fucks. Like
you, Denny Dumas thinks zero fucks that you know what I mean. You think that no one gives a fuck about what people think about you. Fair enough. Don't you think that people want to know that they're making a difference? That people care about them? That what they're
I think
the
if you're
service that they're doing is fucking important.
I think if your happiness is coming from other people's opinions of you, you are in an extremely bad position. And it's going to be a really difficult road.
I think going home from work knowing that people have appreciated the work that you've done, I think that is important. A nurse, a firefighter, or whatever the fuck you want to say. I think that if you go home and you think that, holy shit, this person has either said to me or whatever that, like, man, like you did a really good, like, you really did something. I think that's fucking cool. Compared to, so like you can say society, who gives a fuck what society thinks, or who gives a fuck what this person thinks, and that's okay for you. But like, I think going home knowing that people give a fuck about what you do is cool.
What?
Nothing.
I think you're right. And I think that is one of the biggest problems with society.
Is what people think?
Is most people value, or most people feel their self-worth is based on what other people think of them. And I think that is the fundamental flaw of our current society right now.
Okay. It's a lot to unfold in that one sentence.
It's unbelievably uncontrollable, which is the problem, right? Like if I show up and I work my fucking ass off and you, let's say you're my boss, you had a bad day, your girlfriend dumped you yesterday, whatever happens, and you come in and you just shit on me, it has nothing to do with my performance, has nothing to do with my worth, has something to do with your insecurity and your problem, right? And I think that is, honestly, Matt, I talk about it all the time, is insecurity is a fundamental flaw of our society right now. And social media makes it hundreds of times worse.
Okay, roles reversed. Imagine doing a job that is completely okay and legal, but imagine doing a job that everybody thinks that you're a fucking asshole and you're a prick and that you're absolutely useless. Imagine doing a job that everybody thinks that. That'd be okay. Like you'd be like, yeah, you know what? I came home from work and everyone thinks that I'm useless and everyone thinks that I'm a prick. Did you work hard? Yeah. I know you worked hard, but everyone.
Did you do a good job?
No, but everyone thinks that you're shit. Everyone thinks.
Did you do a good job?
Everyone thinks that your job.
Just answer the questions, then I'm gonna
yes,
lead you down the street.
Yes, you did a good job.
So you worked really hard.
Yes.
You did a really good job.
Yes.
Leave. Go somewhere else. There's multiple companies out there.
If everyone thinks that your job is fucking shit and useless and just like completely against what they believe in.
I don't know a lot of people like that. Like, give me an example.
Dude, I'm like, there's like
a lawyer defending some kind of scumbag.
You know that your defendant or whatever did something completely wrong and all this stuff, but you still go on defending them.
So I think you have to take a step back and understand
a lot of time.
You have to understand that this is the job you signed up for, right? You signed up for defending criminals. This is your choice. This is your choice. It has nothing to do with society. You signed up for this position, right?
Yeah.
I signed up to be a realtor. A lot of people think realtors are jackass. Like all of them are assholes, right?
Okay. Not to that extent, but okay, yeah.
It's totally. But there's still a certain like discrimination, like maybe that's not the right word, but like
unnecessary hate.
Yeah. Stereotype. That's the word I'm thinking of. There's a stereotype against like realtors that we're like used car salesmen. And some clients come into our first meeting thinking that we're trying to take advantage of them. And we have to get over that.
Yeah.
If you're signing up to be a defense attorney against like people who are murdering people, you have to understand that society is probably not going to like you because you're defending some people that are innocent and some people that have killed people.
But that role needs to exist because they still need a fair trial.
From a fucking realtor.
I'm like, it's obviously two different examples.
Yes, very, very different, but yeah.
But you signed up, all I'm saying is you signed up for that.
Okay.
You should know what to expect.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. If you sign up to be a used car salesman, some people are going to come into the used car lot and think you're automatically taking advantage.
Okay. Yeah.
Even if you're the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. What I'm saying is, man, going home with thinking that people think that you've done a great job and that you're Like that's important, I think. Compared to coming home and thinking that everyone's a piece of shit. Like imagine coming home and everyone thinks that, yeah, you're shit. The shit you do is fucking shit. That would fuck with me.
I think you need to move on. Like if you are honest.
Occupations, yes, I would move on, man. Because I'd hate to come home thinking every day that everyone thinks that I'm a fucking scumbag. Even though if you do a really good job and you're defending rapists and you're you know what? Fuck that, man.
I think, but those, like, it's a different personality, right? If you're valuing what other people think a lot, there's a fairly specific career or like opportunity that you need to be in, right? If you value what other people think of you, you're probably not going to defend rapists and murderers, right?
I agree, yeah.
Because everyone's going to hate you. So it comes back to you get to make the decision
of what you want to do.
And if you hate it or you hate this position that you're in,
then don't do that.
You can change. Or you can look for another job. Or you can like find a company that has a great manager and a great boss that treats you good. There's one thing I really wanted to bring up with you, and you can take a pass if you'd like to on this. Because we butted heads up pretty good on the last one. Anxiety stuff. Can we talk about that?
I love scotch.
Does that mean yes or no?
That's
Scotchy scotch.
That's
Here it goes down into my belly.
I love scotch. That's
Will Ferrell and
Anchorman reference.
Ron Burgundy.
Anchorman reference. Yeah.
You mentioned that I was stressing you out. I liked talking about this stuff because I feel like it helps me. And I don't know. I feel like talking about it, the more I talk about it, the less anxious I get in those situations because I feel like other people have similar situations or worse situations than me. And I know you have like struggled with some situations in the past. Yeah. But like what
has helped me?
Like what is the cause? What is making you anxious and what causes the anxiety versus like how have you kind of battled?
Anxiety is an absolute bitch. It is so hard to describe anxiety in like any realm of any sentence. Like you cannot describe anxiety.
And because this is different for everyone.
Way different, man.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Like I've had health anxiety. That was like the root of my anxiety. Was constantly thinking that, like, through my education, knowing the human body, I always thought that, okay, I have a pain here. What is it? Pancreas, liver, kidney, my descending colon. Like, why do I feel this? That was my anxiety, which is shit. But like, man, anxiety is a big beast, man. Like, a year and a half ago, or summer 2019, I was on antidepressants. Absolute shit for me. Mm-hmm. An SSRI blocker, so it would like reabsorb the serotonin coming into your brain, which is like the good feeling. It would affect that, and it was absolute shit.
Like, how did it affect you?
I just didn't feel like myself. I lost a bunch of weight. I just did not feel like myself. Lethargic. Tired, just like imagine like someone shot you with like a little bit of morphine every day, just that would just make you feel like okay. And it's shitty. My buddy Jeff said the best advice he gave me, he told me, Marco, flush those fucking pills in the toilet, which I did, and work on my diet, which I did, and exercise, which I did, and that's what helped me. Tenfold.
What was the cause?
I don't know, man. I have no idea. I paid $2,000 to go to my buddy's stag in Colombia. Already paid. Done. Out of my pocket, cash, done. I didn't go because I was so fucking anxious about leaving home. Absolutely no clue why. being away from my family, being away from a hospital just in case something happened. I don't know. Didn't go. That was last year. Paid for the whole fucking trip, man.
Solely
I
health.
paid for everything.
Like being away from a hospital.
Yeah.
It's something I've never thought about.
Funny, I was in England 2 years ago. I was staying in Edenbridge, which is like in England, you have like a bunch of different spots further away from London and major cities.
Like shires.
Yeah, shires or abbeys.
Abbeys?
Yeah, shire abbeys. And I was there and I was like, man, if something happens to me right now, I'm fucked. Like imagine going hiking, I don't know, off the grid. And if something happened to you, you know instantly you're fucked. There's no help for hours. That's what I felt like all the time. And it fucking sucked.
Was it like, how did that come on?
I have no idea. I think it's because I studied the body.
As a teenager, that was not a thing for you.
Never a
Just
thing.
in the last few years.
Like the last 6-7 years, yeah. Because I studied, I don't know, like I can name any bone or any organ or any system, you know what I mean? Like it's fucking sucks, dude. Imagine constantly taking your pulse and your blood pressure and your O2 just to make sure you're okay. Like how much that would fucking suck. Constantly. Like do you ever wake up thinking that, oh fuck, I'm having a heart attack, or oh my God, my pulse is 133, or oh, holy shit, my blood pressure is 160/90.
One time in
Something's
my life,
wrong.
only one time. I was young, I think, like 24. And I just felt like this like weird numbness.
For me, that's heart attack.
And my left arm started, like I could tell my hand was swelling. Is this fucked? I don't know. You tell me what this is. My left hand started like swelling. So I could see my fingers getting slightly bigger. And I was having a so like, I don't know. I always feel like insensitive talking about anxiety because I know that what I've dealt with in the last 10 years or whatever is insignificant compared to a lot of other people. And I don't know if that's healthy or not to think of it that way, but it is what it is. So that's the way I've thought about it. But like these little like minor incidences, like sometimes early in my career going to listing appointments, I would be driving up Canada Way. I would remember this, and I would be out of breath. Like, and I can only describe it as anxiety. I don't know what else to describe it as. And I'd be like sweating and my like armpits would be sweating. I'm like, what the I wish I brought another shirt to change into. This is crazy. What the hell? Am I going to be able to do this? Anyway, this one fucking situation, literally nothing happened. I don't remember. I was literally eating dinner and my arm started feeling numb and my hand started swelling. And I just like sat down on the sofa and I was like breathing so heavily. And it was like 30 minutes before like my fingers started going back to normal.
Sounds like a panic attack.
I don't know, Marco, you know.
For me, in that, like, if that was me, in my body, I'd call the fucking ambulance. Like, that's what I would do.
In my head, I just assumed everything would be fine.
I'm
like, I'm 24 years old. I'm like very healthy. I work out all the time. It's going to be fine.
Carl says that's a panic attack. Swelling of the fingers doesn't indicate that at all. A panic attack for me is like shortness of breath, rapid heartbeat, sweating, can't catch your breath. That's a panic attack for me. But like, yeah, man, mental health, which if I've learned this in the past 5 years, is not a fucking joke.
No, not at all.
Not even like, dude, I can't.
It's everything who you are.
I always thought like,
right?
As a kid, I always thought like, life, hey man, like just think normal, or like, I would never kill myself, or like, you think this stuff, right? But like being in that state of mind at that point, it's completely fucking different, man. 100%. Like, mental health is not a joke at all. And I think that like I have the utmost respect for all the first responders and all the people on the phone that deal with that kind of shit. Like it's fucking crazy, man. Like I can explain to you what I've what I've been through, and I tell it to my mom, I tell it to my dad, I tell it to my girlfriend who is still going through the shit now with me, like, and like, it's just like, I can't explain it. I cannot explain how I feel. It's fucking impossible.
What do you say then?
I get irritated is what I do. Mm-hmm. Gabby will be like, oh, what's wrong? I'll be like, I get, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll get irritated. The biggest thing is talking to somebody, 100%.
Helpful?
Yes.
Unhelpful?
Yes. Yeah, helpful. Yeah, helpful, 100%. I would talk to my sister. She's in Romania right now, and I'd have these panic attacks at 2, 3, 4 in the morning. So it'd be 11 a.m., 10 a.m. there, and I'd talk to her, and she'd help me right away. Or talking to a counselor, or like that's what would help me. More than medication.
Is it helpful to avoid the topic and just be like, hey, Erica, how's your day? And just try to like...
No, I say straight up, hey, Erica, I'm feeling anxious.
Gotcha.
This is what I feel. This is what I want. Like, this is what's going on with me right now. And then right away, she'd help me. And then it's like, it's okay. This is normal. This is what people feel like. Like, I have a feeling like in back then, the whole, hey, fucking man up. Yeah. It's all bullshit. That's all fucking bullshit, man. Mm. And these people coming back with PTSD and all, like, that's real shit, dude. Not from obviously my own experience, but like, I can only imagine what these veterans and all that, like, what they're going through.